Hi everyone, I'm beginning a series of short videos in the book of Revelation. The presence, power and pomp of Rome was continually before the eyes of the people of Judea. The structure and organization, not to mention all the banners and standard bearers and the regalia and the presence of centurions and legates and prefects in every city or outpost, impinged itself on the populace every day. The all-conquering Rome presented herself as messianic. Salvation and welfare was available to all who subjected themselves to Lord Caesar, and the people were reminded every day by the fanfare and the trappings of her salvific nature. Rome's efficacy was on display in glinting armor and horses and equipment and discipline. Power and triumphalism was the message conveyed to everyone. It was overwhelming in its message of supremacy and invincibility. And visibility was the key. Who could stand against such an all-conquering and ever-present power? Over against that backdrop comes God's message to John, exposing all of Rome's pomp and circumstance as a lie. God desired to encourage and remind believers of what was really going on. That is, what was going on in the realm of the unseen, the realm that finally governs and determines history. For then, as in every age, what's going on in that spiritual realm is an epic struggle in which there is one clear and decisive victor. In the hidden realm of demons and angelic beings, there's a vast war where the prize is the heart and soul of humankind. And there's a clear and unequivocal winner. He is eventually pictured as a warrior on a white horse in chapter 19, leading what the Romans called a triumph, as the victor led kings and commanders and mighty men and horses to their punishment and their destiny. Many had seen the Romans do this very thing in the physical world. So that's why the dramatic and spellbinding graphics, a glimpse of what we can't see but believe by faith. Pictorial and allegorical language must be read and treated as such. The prophets painted images with words. When Zechariah saw horns and craftsmen, or a woman in a basket, or when Amos saw a plumb line, we know they are recognizable pictures or symbols of some truth God is revealing. He knows that picture impressions are remembered long after words have faded. Zechariah's woman in a basket with a lead cover and flying through the air represented something. The sin and harlotry of Israel being carried to where that sin belonged, in Shinar or Babylon. Neither he nor God, Zechariah nor God, thought people would go out into the street looking for a basket borne aloft by angelic beings. The pictures and symbols provide a means via the physical world of grasping truth of and within the unseen world. They are pictorial representations using images we recognize from our realm, that we can understand of things taking place in the realm we can't see, the spiritual, non-physical realm. Never lose sight of that. And that's why John and the church were given such graphics of the splendor, power and authority that occupied that other invisible side, just behind the veil, but equally as real, in fact, more real, because it lasts forever. To enable John to see it, he receives an invitation. In fact, it's a summons. He sees a door standing open in heaven, and the voice of the trumpet summons him. You can see it in the opening verses of chapter 4. Come up here, and I will show you things that must take place after this. It's as though the Lord is saying, you think you've seen splendor and might and destiny? Come and catch a glimpse of real authority and power and destiny. What is actually going on now and into the future. So John is summoned to what I like to call the room with a view, which will be our vantage point too. Imagine it's like the restaurant at the top of the Sydney Tower or the View restaurant in Manhattan. It's as though John is permitted to view various aspects of the great behind-the-scenes panorama of the unseen world. It's an unfolding drama of certain assurance and victory. And we see in Revelation 3 occurrences of a phrase to remind us that salvation belongs to our God. These statements are one of the keys to understanding the entirety of the revelation of John. They occur in chapter 7 verse 10, chapter 12 verse 10, and chapter 19 verse 1. And prior to these statements, we're essentially shown the systems and the powers to whom it definitely does not belong. In chapter 7, it's clear, despite all of the horrors revealed as the scroll of humankind's marred history is unrolled, and despite human efforts to fix the conflict, famine and death brought about by mankind's self-salvation efforts, God still succeeds in calling out from Jew and Gentile a completed and whole number of those who are his. That's the first time this great cry goes up. Salvation belongs to our God who sits on the throne and to the Lamb. The second is in chapter 12 verse 10, after the one described as the dragon stood by to devour the male child of the woman clothed in the sun, with the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and crying out in the pain and agony of giving birth. The woman is Israel, who was pregnant with and gave birth to Messiah. Remember, this is picture language. The great dragon was standing by, ready to devour him at birth, and indeed tried through Herod. But the dragon is comprehensively thwarted and defeated, as we'll see. And so again the huge cry goes up from the loud voice in heaven, now have come the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Christ. For the accuser of our brothers has been thrown down. Salvation is of our God, not of the dragon or of his accusing and intimidating methods. And the last occurrence is at chapter 19 verse 1, after the defeat of the grossly deceptive and immoral Babylon system of seduction and power and money and corruption. She is cowed and defeated and shown for what she is. She has no answer to the ills of the world, though she pretends to, and vaunts herself proudly as the answer. And then we hear the words again, in which the whole multitude joins. After this I heard a sound, like the roar of a great multitude in heaven, shouting, Hallelujah! Salvation and glory and power belong to our God. For his judgments are true and just. He has judged the great prostitute who corrupted the earth with her immorality. He's avenged the blood of his servants that was poured out by her hand. I see, as I said, these three statements as one of the keys to helping us understand John's revelation. Another is the key Greek word Nike, which occurs some 17 times. And another is the importance of the frequently mentioned time scale, expressed as 42 months, or 1,260 days, or in chapter 13 as a time and times and half a time. That is, a year, 2 years, and half a year. 3.5 years. Both this and the word Nike we will consider probably in the next session. In the meantime, I'll leave you with this clue to ponder. The 1,260 days, or 42 months, or a time, times and half a time, 3.5 years, neatly correlates with the time occupied by Jesus' earthly ministry, from the time of his baptism and wilderness testing to the time of his resurrection and ascension to his Father. Until until the next video, I'll leave you to ponder what that may mean, and God bless you.